thoughts, opinions, and general overall shade thrown on High at 9 News are those of the individual speakers and not those of High at 9 News, its audience, or its advertisers. The statements made do not constitute medical, legal, or financial advice, and for advice tailored to your specific situation, please consult with a licensed professional. Welcome to the High at 9 News Hour, where you will hear from cannabis industry experts and professionals from around the country talk about important topics while shining light on global issues and discussing cannabis as it relates to politics, regulation and reform, data and technology, science, research and medicine, family and parenting, art, celebrities and entertainment, fitness, sports, mental health and wellness, and plant-based medicines and entheogenics. Together, we are building a stronger community, fighting the stigma and creating change. With your hosts, Jason Beck and Rico Lamitte, joined by special industry expert correspondents from around the country, and daily antics brought to you by Cannabis. Coming to you live every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time and high noon on the East Coast. And thank you all for getting high at 9 with us. Oh, yeah. Good morning, everybody. That's right. It is Monday, July 8th, and today is National Raspberry Day. It's also National Freezer Pop Day. And, Rico, that's right. It's National Chocolate with Almonds Day because everyone loves some nuts.
Always some kind of chocolate day every single day. I'm digging.
Thank you all for thank you all for joining us and getting high at 9 with us. It's also high noon on the East Coast, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe to us on all social media platforms. We are live every Monday through Friday on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and on our very own website at www.highat9news.com. So thank you to everyone joining and tuning in and enjoying the antics. And man, sorry for the technical difficulties a little bit earlier, but Millie was able to figure it out and got it all rolling. So good job, Millie. We appreciate that. And kicking it off first, that's right, we have the dope dad himself, Mr. Rico Lamitte, the man who just became 1 year older the other day. That's right, he's looking a little aged and a little parched this morning, but nonetheless, it is the dope dad himself, Mr. Rico Lamitte. Oh, yeah, there we go. There's that.
Nothing like some good alkaline water to quench your Monday morning thirst, Jason. I'll tell you that much.
I bet.
You know, there ain't much more American about making money off exploited legal loopholes. The biggest current example of that,
love me some loopholes,
nationwide, yes, is the quasi-legal procurement of THCa, a naturally occurring chemical compound that when exposed to heat becomes Delta-9 THC, which also naturally gets you high. We've extensively covered several state governments attempting and failing to regulate THCA. Tennessee is just the latest. According to WKRN's Adam Mintzer, Tennessee's Department of Agriculture began drafting regulations for manufacturing, sale, and testing of cannabis products months ago, in preparation for new state law compliance that went into effect July 1st. And now, attorneys representing several cannabis businesses in Tennessee said that they intend to sue if Tennessee Department of Agriculture finalizes regulations stopping the sale of the highly popular product. Mintzer said that the state's, yes, very interesting, right? He said that the state's emergency regulations were met with resistance by cannabis retailers who are upset that the rules would make it illegal for them to sell THCA flower. In February, when the Department of Agriculture was accepting feedback on draft regulations, Canvast Supply Company CEO Devin Aracena said that THCA flower products make up about half of their products. Hemp Law Group attorney Alex Little said retailers were expecting to be able to obtain their license and see final regulations by July 1st because that is when the law goes into effect. But they have not. In response to News 2's questions about when the final rules will be sent out, the Department of Agriculture spokesperson said that they are committed to, quote, doing what is right. and working to have the regulations completed as soon as possible. The July 1st deadline in the statute was for the department to have a licensing program in place for hemp-derived cannabinoid products. The department continues to work through all statutory and regulatory requirements to promulgate final rules. In the meantime, the department has issued emergency rules and has taken all required administrative action necessary to launch a program in accordance with the statute as codified, the spokesperson said. Until the final rules come out, Little says that many of his clients are left wondering whether their businesses will take a hit when the enforcement of these regulations begins in 2025. They would like to have some consistency and know what they are expecting to comply with. Sounds reasonable. He said that before adding that if the finalized regulations are the same as the ones that are in place now, that they tend to think that the impacts will be negative and intend to go to the courts to stop them. He said that he has spoken to the department about their intent to sue if it becomes illegal to sell THCA flower. We've told them time and time again, half the revenue in this industry comes from products containing THCA. I certainly don't think the legislature intended to cut the industry in half. We think the Department of Agriculture has overstepped its authority. The Department of Agriculture, on the other hand, seems to be calling Little and his clients bluff. And they said that they will not comment on any hypothetical lawsuits. Well, things seem to be decarboxylating rather nicely down in Tennessee. It's a fight that we're beginning to see echoed from state to state. I couldn't tell you one way or another who will emerge victorious in this whole battle. One thing I can say with confidence is the trap gonna do what the trap gonna do, and trappers gonna get that loophole money one way or another. I'm Rico Lamitte, the dopest dad on the street for High 9 News, America's #1 daily news show.
Man, it's THCA, man. They're trying to hate on THCA in Tennessee. And
the hate is strong.
Man, shout out to these activists and these lawyers that are going to be fighting for their freedom.
They legalize Haktua.
Yes.
Legalize Haktua.
They're going to be making a lot of money, man. There's going to be a lot of lawsuits. There's going to be a lot of legal fees thrown around left and right. It's a good time to be a lawyer. Say that much.
Yeah, right? It's a great time to be a lawyer on this gig. Man, they're
I see you over there grinding your gears, Yarrow. What do you think about this? Come on, spit it out.
I think our federal government has done a terrible job. I think cannabinoids should be regulated based on whether they are psychotropic or non-psychotropic. I don't think it should matter whether it comes from cannabis or hemp. I think cannabis is overregulated and hemp is underregulated, and I think we will continue to see problems like this as a result of that until we have a coherent revised farm bill to work with.
You think
would it make sense to call cannabis?
I think cannabinoids, it doesn't matter whether it comes from cannabis or from hemp. I think we have those that are psychotropic and have intoxicating effects, and we have those that aren't, and we just right down the middle regulate them according to the effect they have on the human body, and be done with all this mishigas.
Did you say mishigas?
Mishigas.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's the Jewish section of Michigan, Jason.
Interesting choice of verbiage there today, y'all.
Oh, it's like Israel of the Upper Peninsula, huh?
Oh, man, Rico.
I think there's more Palestinians out there than that. I was just saying.
No water.
Whoa.
The Palestinian representation is strong in Michigan. Just saying.
They're deep out there. That part.
Okay. But I think, look, I mean, at the end of the day, what are people supposed to do but try to find relief in the courts if there's not clear guidelines?
That's
even
fair.
Unclear guidelines. I'm a big advocate for not going to the courts. I think that's usually for whiners and people who are just complaining. But if
winners if you're victorious.
Sure.
Then you're just a loser if you don't.
But the notion that you need to go to the courts to get your way isn't always something that I can sort of subscribe to personally.
Sometimes that's the only way, though. Sometimes that's the only way, Yarrow.
Well, without a revised farm bill, and people are still working off of 2018 guidelines.
I don't think they need to revise the farm bill. I think it's perfect just how it is.
Yeah, just like Adam's hair. It's inspiring, but I do think that until we get some revised guidelines, we're going to have problems like these continue to manifest in state after state after state. And it's not fair to the states, really, because they're trying to come up with these stopgap measures. What do we expect them to do?
Is that because of the formats of the manifest, Yarrow?
5 mats.
Wow.
Just asking.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Just,
All right.
Come on.
just asking. Just asking. You know, just saying.
But I do grit my teeth because I do think that these loopholes, you know, when you say trappers are going to trap, this is a different type of trapping. This is not traditional trapping.
This is trad trapping.
Because
What do you mean? All weed sales operate like through Craigslist nowadays. So
traditional trapping was dependent
But that was
upon
before
some
the
measure
internet.
of covert operation.
That was before the internet.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
And this is
100%.
Adam, we need to start, because I have some Republicans on the show, can we start getting a real-time fact check for those?
Wow.
Yeah, Yarrow is a constitutional trapper.
Disrespect.
Yeah. This is like when mom and dad used to argue back in the day, only now I have 2 gay dads.
Oh, wow.
Whoa. Pause.
In order for it to be considered trapping.
No, but really, trapping was never about legal. Let me rephrase that. The legal loopholes that have been created as a result of the 2018 Farm Bill have provided unprecedented cover for people to do a variety of things, some that are inspiringly entrepreneurial and some that are just despicably terrible. And trapping, traditional trapping, didn't require some massive legal loophole in order for people to find a way to enrich themselves, potentially at the expense of consumers.
That was California cannabis for fucking all of Prop 215, wasn't it?
So Yarrow, so what I'm hearing is that you are advocating for stiffer penalties for trappers is what I'm hearing, because you're like bring back the.
He wants to put a lock on the trap.
Now we're going into
likes it
two gay
stiff.
dads fighting, because that is not what I say.
That's the only thing I'm hearing.
We typically have in our relationship, which is why we go to couples counseling at least Monday and Tuesday mornings at 9 a.m. Because I don't feel heard by you, and you didn't put away the prime rib after I told you to clean up in the kitchen.
You just say I'm domestically challenged, so yeah. Anytime you tell me to clean up, nothing's gonna happen.
Now it's technically subprime rib.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is subprime rib. It's boof rib. So the thing that I'm saying is not that we need to have enforcement against the trappers, although there's an argument that some of that might be valid.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is that without clear guidelines, without a rubric, an equation for people to operate in, without people understanding where the lines are, we can't expect people to comply with whatever we think is common sense, because we don't all share common sense. And so we need guidelines that regulate cannabinoids according to how they affect the body, and to hell with whether it came from hemp or cannabis, because hemp is just cannabis's cousin without a big tall fence.
I think it's all the same person. I think it's just a Gemini, and you guys are trying to decipher between the two.
When I found your profile, I should have known that the way you talked about astrology was too much for me, and that it might affect our relationship.
THCA is marijuana identifying as hemp.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that. But in a court of law, all my weed identifies as THCA. But
it's all cannabis.
Yes, man. I love this story. I could go on for days on this shit.
Fucking Tennessee, dude. Get your shit together, Tennessee. Come on.
What are you saying, Jenny?
I gotta say,
You're gonna have plenty of time to talk about
I
it,
hate
because
that
every
the
week we
loophole
see a
gave us
story like
Delta
this
8.
somewhere, usually from the Bible Belt,
sorry,
where
Jen.
somebody's like, you know what? Let's sell this in a smoke shop. So
I'm with it.
You'll get to talk about it for probably years to come, Jason.
I can't wait.
I know.
I can't wait.
What were you saying, Slade?
I was
Stone?
just saying, loophole wise, I hate how it gave us the Delta 8, but the frickin' outlaw in me is kind of loving the THCA thing. Texas Monthly came out last month, and they went to a bunch of dispensaries in Texas and tested this hemp, which we're coming back at like 24% THC.
Yeah.
Straight up, we legalized it in Texas. They just don't know yet. So I'm loving it.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, it definitely happens a lot here in Missouri too. Everywhere, any place you go to, you can go to a gas station, get a Snickers and a THCA 8.
I mean, in all essence, Stone is probably loving life because he doesn't have to smoke Delta 8 anymore. He can just smoke THCA now.
Right here, Jason.
Just
listen.
It's true.
I got nothing to say to you.
I know.
Delta 8 queen.
I know. Speaking of that, we're gonna roll right into a commercial and we're gonna be right back.
Sweetheart.
Oh man, that was weird. Hey, you America. Do I look like Sean Connery?
Good morning, America. Saman Razani coming to you live from sunny Los Angeles, California with the one and only highest host, Mr. Jason Beck, smoking on the best weed in the world. Did you know that we have an audio-only version of our podcast? You can find it on Apple, Google, Amazon, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. No excuses in 2024. If you haven't checked us out, check it out now. And also, check out what the Prophet's doing in 2024.
I don't see.
Oh, and we're back. And we're back. All you jokesters, we're back.
Yes, we are. Coming to the stage. Speaking of West Hollywood.
Yes.
Grinder.
Oh, boy. Man.
If the audience only knew what went down between the scenes.
Oh,
Thank you,
boy.
We do need to do like an outtake show because it would actually be even more entertaining than the
First
show.
section, yeah.
Y'all are going to get us
Come
on
to the stage.
Everybody, by the way, we're live right now.
Yes, we are. We are all the way live, like Cool in the Gang. And nobody's the Cool in the Gang leader. Like the man that's coming to the stage next. He's the highest Republican in every room that he walks into, known for smoking the best weed in the world, even if it is, just THC.
Just saying.
Back.
Oh, yeah. Good morning, you guys. Man, do I have a story for you. Because an Ohio police chief is fired for refusing to take a drug test after a mayor claims his office reeked of marijuana, you guys. That's right. An Ohio police chief is jobless now for refusing to take a drug test after the mayor claimed she smelled an odor of marijuana that could knock you off your feet from his office, according to a report. The new Miami Village Council unanimously voted to terminate Police Chief Harold Webb on June 27th, according to a letter from the mayor's office obtained by Fox 19. The drama leading to the firing began on June 20th when Mayor Jewel Hayes Hensley claimed Webb's office reeked of the devil's lettuce, and she and the council member were there collecting his daily logs. In a quote, "The first thing that came out of my mouth was, 'Who has been smoking weed in here?' the mayor of the tiny Butler County village wrote in a letter. Before he was fired, the village's attorney hand-delivered a letter to Webb at his home on June 24th, notifying him he had until 5 p.m. the following day to take a drug test at the mayor's request or face, in quotes, disciplinary action. That's right. The former police chief arrived at the testing site on June 25th, but reportedly refused to give a urine sample in front of a nurse as a witness, calling the whole ordeal belittling. In a quote, "You know what you win," Webb texted Hayes Ensley after refusing to take the test. In an additional quote, "This is the third time you have questioned my integrity." He told her she would have his resignation letter that evening. Webb, who had only been chief for about a year, claimed the odor was coming from more than 850 grams of marijuana flower the department seized during a raid in March, but his explanation fell on deaf ears. "Sorry things didn't work out," Hayes Hensley replied, and says additionally, "Please turn in all your new Miami Village properties along with your resignation and leave all access to video cameras and computers turned over to me." However, Webb never turned in his resignation letter, and the new Miami Village Council voted unanimously to remove him from his position. The small town's mayor had previously accused Webb of a raft of other violations prior to claiming his office reeked of pot. In the same letter, Hayes Hensley accused Webb of stealing hot dogs from a gas station when only free soda was allowed on duty. Glizzy Fest in Ohio.
Yeah.
And refusing to respond to 911 calls, theft of office, falsifying timesheets and daily logs, and cashing his paychecks knowing he was required to show proof of his being at work. In March, the mayor also placed Webb on administrative leave without pay for allowing inappropriate comments on the department's Facebook page, including some posted by the former chief's wife that allegedly called out the new Miami Village mayor, according to Fox 19. Inappropriate sexual comments were left on the public page for hours before being taken down, and Hayes Hensley said the entire Facebook page was taken down over the conduct. The village council eventually voted to reinstate the chief in April after Webb's lawyer, Jeff Gray, pointed out that his suspension violated Ohio law because the procedures were improperly followed. But upon his reinstatement, other mounting grievances, including from some village employees, were filed against him, according to the outlet. Gray told the outlet that no police officers working under his client ever filed grievances against him, and in a statement following the firing, Hayes Hensley wrote that it was her job, in quotes, job to ensure the residents of the community are safe. Council and I are working very hard to have a greater police presence in our village and do a major cleanup, both with crime and housing. It is that time that residents of the village of New Miami know that they have a mayor and council working to put the community's needs first and do everything within their power to make the village of New Miami a safe, clean, and thriving community. According to the mayor, Captain Dan Brower is expected to become acting police chief at the next city council meeting later this month. Well, I think this guy was totally unjustified with being fired, and I can't believe that his lawyer didn't mention that the police chief recently acquired a new pet skunk for his office. But nonetheless, I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this.
You know I love a good old glizzy after I get high as fuck at work.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, this dude, police chief Glizzy.
Yes.
Is he in trouble because he doesn't have a medical card, Jason? Like, why, if he's in Florida, he not smoke weed?
No, they're in Ohio. They're in Ohio.
Where there is medical.
New Miami, Ohio?
Yeah. Well, it's the city. It's the city is called New Miami Village. Is the name of the city?
It's different there.
Yes.
Okay, that's weird. Yeah, you know, there's also, totally off topic, but there's a Miami in Oklahoma, only they call it Miami.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is there.
Interesting.
But back to the story.
Definitely
anyway.
off topic.
I mean,
He's
this guy
still
sounds
illegal
like
in
a party.
Ohio?
Like,
Crazy.
Are you kidding me? He's like out here cashing his check, then he's going to grab a quick glizzy on the way out to smoke.
Hold on.
You know what I mean?
I'm confused as why he's in trouble for cashing his check. That makes no sense. Like, if that's the case, they should have never issued his check in the first place if he wasn't able to cash it. That's just stupid.
Right. Jason,
Yeah,
here's a
they need
check,
to get
please.
this shit
Okay.
together.
Counting.
It sounds like the mayor's got it out for this guy.
Yeah, I think the mayor is mad because I think she was probably trying to hit on him, and he was like, probably no, I'm not with it and whatnot, and then basically that's why he's getting fired.
Do we have a picture of the
I think he just took over the trap game.
What's that, Brandon?
I think they just took over the trap game. The sheriff's in charge now. Mayor's lost all of his clients. Pissed.
The mayor's batshit crazy. This lady is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
This is concerning to me on a lot of levels. First of all, it's near impossible to fire a police officer, so that's odd to me to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, there are probably rules about law enforcement's either participation, cooperation with drug testing, or due process, and if he violated that. I've never heard of that being grounds immediately for a firing, at least with line staff and most officers. If they refuse something, it goes to their union, and then people kibitz about it. They complain about it. They come up with something. And then, I just want a world in which dedicated law enforcement can pet their skunk, and that's not a reason why they can't continue to be gainfully employed. I mean, that somebody has an agenda for you when all of a sudden the headline includes the allegations of malfeasance in respect to how you handle the non-free hot dog.
I think this mayor lady is batshit crazy. Mm-hmm. Personally,
she looks exactly like the I'm gonna call the cop on you, Karen meme.
Mm-hmm. She does.
Yes, she does. She looks like that
Star Wars character,
and she's very unattractive.
Interesting.
She's very
it's very interesting at this hearing or whatever. They have a picture of her there, and she has like a jar of candy up there. in the middle of this public hearing.
I just really wanted to see. I really wanted to see what
Right.
these inappropriate messages on this Facebook post were.
I want to see these too. This is kind of small town drama. I'm here for it.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
I found another article looking for a picture of this lady, and it says police chief's job at risk after his wife calls out mayor on social media.
There we go.
Yeah. What does it say? What do the things say? What do the Facebook posts say? Because this was the police captain's wife that went in on the mayor on some of these inappropriate comments.
Yeah, she's like, hold my beer, hold my candy.
Exactly.
If you'd like to run for office, move to Ohio.
Yeah, it looks like she has some Delta 8 gummies on her desk right.
That's.
She reminds me of a Star Wars character from like those sandy areas where the little
The Jabberwockies.
Yeah, but like she looks like one of the ones that would be like bigger and like riding on some weird like hybrid camel looking
That's
horse
the Huts
thing.
lady right here. I'm looking at her.
I don't know. Yeah, looks aside, I think she just
THCV could be good for her.
Oh boy.
Yeah. There's just good old fashioned overstepping your boundaries of power right here, and I think that police department smelled like fucking weed. It smelled like weed. Ain't nobody snitching on the captain, but she seems like she has an axe to grind with him.
I tell you
the lady called her the laughing stock of the village of New Miami.
I mean, she's the laughing stock of High at 9 News, Monday, July 8th at 9:32 a.m.
Fair enough. You know what I think is going to end up happening, right? We're going to end up having a follow-up story from this. This cop is going to get reinstated, and then there's going to be a vindictive arrest from this mayor. This mayor, she's probably going to get some weed planted on her at her house or something, and then she's going to get arrested, and there's going to be a whole another story that we will cover here on High at 9 News.
Millie, I'm sending it to you.
I think the wife and the mayor should just fight. You know what I'm saying?
We should stream that.
I don't know if the ladies.
Somebody needs to catch a fade. Let it be a fair one. You know what I'm saying? And if the mayor wins, police chief got to step down. Simple as that.
I mean, I think the whole town could get behind that. I would think.
Dude, that's the kind of corporal punishment I like.
Why do you want women to fight? Why you could have gone to live in the city and watched.
Hey, look, I'm all for.
There's no better use of canola oil.
Look,
hey, fair enough. And you know what? As a matter of fact, we're gonna be sharing a video probably later today or tomorrow on our social media page of Liddy in the city of the oil wrestling matches. So yes,
it's not about Jenny Beth. Just to clear my good name, it's not about women fighting. I'm all for just people fighting.
Yeah,
I'm all for just people fighting to get out their frustrations, and that's a good way to end an argument because
catch a fade.
Way too often these days, and nothing gets settled.
That's how people get shot.
Fuck shooting and stabbing and all that stuff. It's bringing back the good old days of fades, man. You win some, you lose some, and you know what? If you want your argument to actually win, hit the gym. Get your skills up, and if not, you get your ass whooped.
Today's High at 9. Today's High at 9 News is brought to you by Fades. They're not just for barbershops anymore.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm all for it.
This police chief just needs to know there's a big difference between spanking your monkey and petting your pet skunk. And like, how did he not know that this was going to be an odor issue? I mean, if you're in law enforcement, this just seems like a really poor decision. If in fact he did do it, if he didn't do it, it sounds like they didn't want to work with him.
I don't think he did it. I think he just got fired for terps. And that's what all it is.
Spray packs.
Yeah.
Spray packs.
Fired because he pointed out Libby on a post and made a statement that everybody else was thinking, and I can sympathize.
The mayor was mad because their shit didn't have no terps on it.
You guys were thinking about it. I just said.
He's got the food. He's smoking mid.
All right, we got to keep this train rolling. We're going to roll right on into Mr. Stone Slade. He's from the great deep red state of Texas. That's right.
Deep purple.
It's not. I'm only in Austin. Is it purple? And the best part about being in Austin, everyone, is that you are surrounded by Texas. That's right. Coming out from Texas is none other than Mr. Stone Slade.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you, Jason. I'll take it, even
Yes.
with your nonsense.
Yes.
All right.
Are you going to do your
Sometimes
Elvis
science
impersonation
surprises.
today?
What'd you say?
Are you going to do your Elvis impersonation today?
No, not today.
Okay.
Stop it.
Oh.
All right.
Stop. Elvis.
All right.
All right, let's get to the news. Sometimes science surprises us in ways most don't quite expect. Take this new study on cannabis and diabetes, for example. It turns out that cannabis might just be more beneficial than we've been led to believe. Go figure. People who consume cannabis seem to have healthier responses to inflammation, better control over blood sugar levels, and wait for it, they tend to be more active. These factors combined could lower the risk of developing diabetes. This comes from a new research undertaken in the Sonic trial, longitudinal, oh God, this word, epidemiological.
Epidemiological, yes. Yep.
Epidemiological.
Thanks, guys. That collects data from the same individuals over time. Now, let's put this into perspective. In the United States, more than 38 million people have diabetes, and 1 in 5 of them doesn't even know it. The Center for Disease Control emphasizes that ongoing studies focusing on prevention, treatment, and management of diabetes are crucial for public health. Angela Bryan, PhD, a professor and co-director of CU Change at University of Colorado Boulder, found that those inflammatory profiles would improve over the course of 4 weeks, particularly those using a CBD as opposed to THC product. Now, Bryan and her colleagues presented their findings at the 2024 Annual American Diabetes Association 84th Scientific Sessions. Now, what exactly does that mean? In the Sonic study, regular cannabis consumers were typically young, healthy, and physically active, with an average age of 30 and healthy body mass index. They were compared to non-users with similar demographics. Now, while their dietary habits needed work, cannabis consumers excelled in physical activity. The study involved oral glucose tolerance tests to measure insulin sensitivity and assessments of various inflammatory markers. For 4 weeks, participants consumed a cannabis flower product, documenting their use, diet, and physical activity. Eating patterns between users and non-users were similar, though users did consume slightly more salty snacks after 4 weeks. Sorry, guys, I didn't turn my phone off. After 4 weeks, no significant changes in inflammatory markers were found. However, those consuming cannabis had lower levels of inflammatory biomarkers and circulating cytokines compared to non-users. With one exception, the MCP1 protein. MCP1 is a protein that signals white blood cells to areas of inflammation or injury, aiding in the immune response and tissue healing. Numerous studies agree that selected cannabinoids and cannabis terpenes are effective in reducing pain and inflammation. For instance, a 2022 study by GB Sciences found that cannabis compounds with anti-inflammatory properties may be useful in decreasing inflammation associated with a wide range of serious human disorders. With these cannabis compounds potentially have more favorable side effects profiles than the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. Now, this growing acceptance is evident among athletes and others who suffer from chronic pain. The study showed no chronic effects of cannabis use and insulin sensitivity after controlling for BMI and inflammation. The author did note that the study's limitations include a very healthy sample and inability to use gold standard randomization due to the Schedule I status of cannabis, which continues to stymie cannabis research. Day-to-day behavior differences between users and non-users were minimal. Now, Bryan's other research highlights the public health implications of cannabis legalization. One study found that cannabis use before exercise might enhance your enjoyment and the runner's high, potentially making exercising more appealing, even to those at risk for diabetes. Now, another study indicated that CBD-dominant cannabis forms could reduce acute tension and potentially alleviate long-term anxiety relevant for diabetes and stress. It's fascinating, really. We've got a plant that not only could help control blood sugar and reduce the risk of diabetes, but also makes exercise more enjoyable and reduces anxiety. Yet we still struggle with outdated views and lazy stoner stereotypes that prevent further research. So the next time you hear somebody dismissing cannabis as merely a recreational drug, remember this: there's more to the story, and it's high time we paid attention. Oh, and Wilford Brumley might have had a different catchphrase had he known about this. Instead of diabetes, it might have been telling us to all pass the Mary Jane. I'm Stone Slade, reporting for the High at 9 News.
This is fantastic news, Stone Slade.
I love this news, even in my purple state of Texas, right?
I mean, it's
but the key to this thing, though, man, is controlling the munchies afterwards.
Yes.
I mean, I think more or less about controlling the munchies is controlling what munchies you are consuming.
Well, that's what I mean. It's controlling the munchies.
That's no. You can just have the munchies, and like if you're eating like good healthy snacks, it's
well, that's what I'm saying. Controlling what you munch on is that a better way to
controlling your choice of snacks? Yeah, controlling your choice of snacks. Yes. Yeah.
But chia seeds and quinoa just doesn't hit the same.
Well,
yeah.
You know
what I found. A lot of people know I suffer from gout. Gout is a close cousin to diabetes, and
is that like hemp and cannabis?
Yeah, it's kind of gout is like the THCA of diabetes.
Got it. Got it.
For what I've learned over the years is that if you just don't buy Oreos beforehand and you make sure you keep DoorDash the app down while you're smoking, like I don't have many gout attacks at all. It's simple as that. Mm-hmm. So, as much as I want to champion this study and everything, this still comes down to the person. You got to control the other things too. It's lowering your blood sugar. That's great. It is helping you control the disease. That's awesome. These people, they also need to control their own inclinations too.
Mm-hmm.
So
I just think that this also is taking the place of alcohol in a lot of cases, and how much sugar is in alcohol and glasses of wine, and that also is a big thing that you're taking all of that sugar from an alcoholic drink. That if you're using cannabis to alleviate that instead, or replace alcohol with cannabis, and that's a big place that you can get rid of a lot of sugars as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oreos are my fucking weakness.
They're so good.
So bad.
If you guys didn't read between the lines on that shit.
I knew there was a racial joke in there, but I just decided to sidestep it.
You didn't want to take the bait, huh? Yarrow, you're so good at taking bait.
Yeah, no, I was already petting my skunk earlier, so I don't need to be the master baiter and bite. But
wow,
as a fellow sufferer of chronic gout, I have chronic gout. It is the most pronounced middle-aged malady that I have suffered with for over 10 years, and it affects everything from I can't play soccer to hiking doesn't sound fun anymore. And so I really can relate to this idea that some of us do get these conditions that while they're not fatal, they become a life sentence where we need to take care of them for as long as we're here, and where if we don't take care of them, our quality of life can go drastically down as that pain goes dramatically up. So I appreciate the promise that this article offers. But again, most of these articles talk about more research is needed, and we get these glimmers of hope about sort of the medical and therapeutic benefits of cannabis. But a lot of this information is just so new, and really they haven't cracked the code on all of the benefits of the 150 plus cannabinoids. I hope they do. I hope I can look at somebody and say, hey, I'm medicating.
I'm relieving my gout with this joint.
Certainly for pain relief with gout, the only thing that touches that pain for me, Rico, I don't know about you, is opioids, because it's in my fucking bones.
Colchicine, man. I hate it. And I hate the fact that I have to take it. I hate when you feel it. I don't know where you get yours, but mine's almost always in my right toe, and you can feel that shit coming like hours before that happened. I'm like, yo, I really don't want to take these fucking pills. I don't want to take these pills, but you have to fucking take those shits. But
I helped my friend completely get rid of his gout just using nutrition.
I thought you were going to say amputation.
Conversation really leads to like what's going on in America, which is
MSG. This is exactly. It is exactly what I'm saying.
Right now, 60% of children are chronically ill, mostly autoimmune diseases, whereas it used to be under 6% up until the 1980s. The biggest thing is if you go into a grocery store, other than the very walls of meat and produce and dairy for some, all of the rest of that stuff is literally engineered chemicals. All of that stuff is scientifically engineered to hook you, and nearly none of it is nutrition, nearly none of it is food. And this is one of the craziest things I see, and I'm not talking about present company as much as like all of my friend groups and the people I see so many people on Twitter and on social media, and they're talking about the deep state and the government conspiracy to get us, and they're going to enslave us.
Yeah.
The same people that are talking about this are smoking corporate cigarettes, they're eating Doritos, and they're drinking soft drinks. And it's like so many people think that there's some sort of, revolutionary culture warrior while they're literally supporting the very thing that is killing us all unconsciously. And the biggest thing is there's no secret pill for gout or diabetes or any of these conditions. There's no secret pill. The secret is getting up every day and making good choices in food, working out, meditating, eating fruits and vegetables, staying away from sugars, staying away from alcohol, staying away from carbs. Unfortunately, that's it's so hard to everybody wants a pill. We all want to, and myself included, we all fall into this complacency where we want to just live our life. If something goes wrong, we want to have a little bit of magic to just sprinkle in there so we can continue to do what we want. The truth is, like, up to this point in my life, and I've explained this to my kids, like, I missed 80% of the happy hours and the fun shit that my friends were doing because I was working out or learning or training martial arts or yoga or some other movement and mind modality in my life. I missed almost every fucking party. I missed 90% of the parties that happen every weekend because I'm hanging out with my kids, I'm hiking, and I'm going to sleep early. But I feel terrific. I'm in my 50s, and I can outperform most people in their 20s. And real magic pill is dedication and unflinching, unwavering discipline. If anybody ever wants help with it, I think I help everybody here on the panel, in the chat, and anywhere with nutrition, workout, and all that shit to make you the best you can be.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Matthew.
I don't think anybody disagrees with you, like not one bit. However, Oreos are banging, bro.
And Matthew St. Germain, I'm 100% with you on that. I can outperform most 20-year-olds too. And on that, we're going to go to a commercial and we're going to be right back.
That's what Yarrow says.
Yes. Everything.
Oh.
I'm Jason Beck, and this is Smoky Vanilla. And if you want to feel as good as I look, then you need to get a stretch and smoke with Smoky Vanilla.
Hi, I'm Smoky Vanilla. I have my bachelor's degree in kinesiology, and I'm a sports massage therapist and stretch coach. I focus mostly on individuals that are in sport with chronic pain or injury. I love to intuitively create and customize a session based on the individual that I'm working with. We'll go over a few postural assessments, work together to create a wellness journey based on the health history, past injuries, or anything still affecting you today. And we'll get you back on your feet right away with less pain.
We're about to stretch, and then we're going to smoke, because we're going to get on our stretch and smoke. If you want to feel as good as I look, then you need to come on down and get a stretch and smoke with none other than Smoky Vanilla.
You should do a High at 9
All
News
right.
Naked edition sometime.
All right, you guys. Whoa. Hold on a second, you guys. We're back. Make sure you hit that like button. I know you'll appreciate it. We appreciate it, and YouTube will appreciate it, as well as make sure you subscribe to the channel if you've not subscribed already. And all of the articles that we cover on today's show, you can read directly on our website at www.highat9news.com.
The Control Tower from Highly Educated has perfected the dab. Utilizing the concept of thin film evaporation, you can waste none of it and taste all of it. The micro texture of the SE pillar increases nucleation at elevated temperatures. And with the tower propelling at 2,600 RPMs, it's certainly the most efficient dab experience to date. The Control Tower from Highly Educated.
Oreo.
No, it was enough.
Oh, that's funny.
It was enough.
Oh, wow.
And they called it the E word.
Safe
This
word.
like drove him into being as wild as he was later on. Anyways,
We're back. We're back, Rico. We're back.
Jeez.
speaking of wildness, this well-seasoned industry executive with Southern conservative roots on the red clay Georgia on her boots is the mind behind Cannabis Consulting and the juice behind Justice Served 501c3. Y'all know who it is. Jason's conservative counterpart today in the studio. Trying to be nice here. Jenny Beth Dills.
Why is it hard to be nice? We've been friends for years, Rico. It shouldn't be hard to be nice to me.
I'm just saying, I'm trying to be nice.
I was gonna get you some red or blue election year Oreos.
I'm talking about your relationship
really
with Jason.
on that,
I'm trying to be positive. This is a new year of my life. I just want to be positive. I usually take shots at Jason, but I'm not trying to take shots. You know what I'm saying?
I'm proud of you. I was like, how'd I catch a fade? Good.
Shots.
All right, so here we go. We're flying away from this one. We're going to Thailand, which is crazy. A lot of news coming out of there. All right, cannabis advocates in Thailand protest a proposal to ban again its general use. 2 years after marijuana was decriminalized in Thailand, nearly 100 of its advocates marched to the Prime Minister's office Monday to protest a possible ban on general use. A Health Ministry Drug Control Committee approved Friday a proposal to relist cannabis as a narcotic to only be allowed for medical and research purposes. The proposition is set to be submitted to the Office of the Narcotics Control Board this week, and if agreed on, will take effect January 1st. Cannabis advocates and entrepreneurs, some carrying potted marijuana plants, gathered at the United Nations headquarters in central Bangkok Monday as they prepared to head to the governor's house, nearly 1 kilometer, 0.62 miles away. Prashichai Nunoan, we're going to just say that's completely wrong, a representative of pro-cannabis network of individuals, addressed the protesters saying that marijuana should be separately regulated by the health ministry instead of criminalizing the plant yet again. He accused the government of outlawing the drug to only allow a few interest groups to benefit from its medical uses. That doesn't sound like anything people would do. Come on. Mm-hmm. This fight for cannabis is not only for medical security or people's rights, but it's also for destroying the monopoly of politicians taking its benefits away from the people, he said. Kitty Chopka, a cannabis shop owner in Bangkok and activist, also accused the current Thai cabinet of allowing politics to manipulate such a decision and called on officials to come up with a policy that benefits the majority of people. Who are you to judge what they use it for and how they use it, she added. Police barricaded the road leading to the government house, effectively stopping the protesters from marching ahead, who then set up a camp in the area and announced they would remain in place until the government responded to their demands. An official later received the group's written petition. In May, Prime Minister Saritha Thavisin said he wanted to outlaw cannabis again, sparking several protests from advocates who claimed the decision would be damaging to the economy. Legal cannabis has fueled Thailand's tourism and farming sectors and spawned thousands of cannabis retails ranging from shops, trucks, to market stalls all over the country. Pak Pechong, a cannabis grower who joined Monday's march, said while more regulations are needed, a radical rollback will hurt a lot of people who have invested in the business. Everybody's spent a lot of money already. I'm a grower, so our main concern is not being able to grow or use it, he said. After cannabis was decriminalized in 2022, it was initially said that it would be allowed only for medical use. But in practice, the market remained virtually unregulated, prompting public backlash and concerns over misuse and crime, which the government has cited as reasons for the proposal. Last month, Health Minister Somsak said the ministry conducted an online survey and that no less than 80% of the 111,201 participants approved the ban. However, the results were not publicly shared. The I can't pronounce that party, headed by Anutin Sharkanaval. Can they just be John Smith? This is so hard. Spearheaded decriminalizing marijuana in the country and promised at the time farmers in its stronghold in the impoverished Northeast that it would be a new cash crop. Newton, who headed the health ministry in 2022, pushed for an amendment to the narcotics law, dropping cannabis from the list of controlled substances. Currently, the Interior Ministry, the party head, has publicly opposed the proposed ban, saying while Bomathi does not support recreational use of cannabis, the rollback will impact the cannabis industry. I mean, I think this is interesting. I think, one, the Thai government is sick of the shit because we definitely saw a lot of people go over there that we know are just really pushing it. So that's cool. I mean, your trap fails in America, take it to Thailand, I suppose. But
I mean, Oklahoma failed, so why not take it to Thailand?
Yeah, Oklahoma did also no fail. Yeah, you got $2,500. Come on out. So yeah, I think it's interesting, but I also have had accounts from some friends of mine who have businesses out there where the government does come in and take your business, and that I could see a monopoly being created and being politically backed. But I also want to acknowledge that they completely descheduled. It looked like they removed it from the controlled substances list, which is crazy. Why can't we do that?
Well, we actually did a whole Sunday special report on Thailand and this whole reversal of the government stance. And we had my buddy Filthy of the Lavender Boys come in and talk about it, because they actually hold all of the medical licenses currently in Thailand. And so we got a good in-depth. And so I encourage you guys, you want to learn more about this, to go and check out that whole video, because there's a wealth of knowledge on there.
Let's clarify that too. They hold all the ones that are available.
Correct.
They don't hold every license. We just need to clarify, because people are going to be like, he doesn't own my shop. Shout out to Filthy.
Yes. I think that's a fair point. They possess all of the licenses that you can obtain through the Thai government, as far as for medical is concerned.
Yes. I know they have like whole hotels in Thailand, that have cannabis friendly as well too. One of my buddies has one of those, but are those all in jeopardy now as well too?
So basically, and we kind of go into this in the video, but basically no one is in jeopardy of losing their business. It's a question of whether or not they want to conform to the government's protocols or whatnot. And so it's kind of like back in the day when they had started with legalization, and it's like, if you wanted to participate in legalization, then you had to go through these steps and whatnot, and if not, then you just stayed in the trap. But I'll tell you what, I wouldn't want to get caught trapping in Thailand.
No.
It's so weird to me, because Thailand is one of the most accommodating cultures, which has some benefits and some risks. And they went full, this is just a house plant. And the idea that they could put the genie back in the bottle, show me any place in the history of the world where that has worked for any government. I don't see how, I don't see what they're doing here.
That's what I was about to say too. Sritha Thavisan trying to show us how to put the toothpaste back in the tube, man. It's just crazy.
I mean, I'll tell you what, though, this is going to be a great example to see if they can do it. Because if they can do it, then maybe New York should implement their policies to do the same thing.
It's just, if I was going to identify through my own puritanical Judeo-Christian lens the societal ills that Thailand might want to consider addressing, it would be sex with underage humans, not what people.
Hey, I'm so with you on that, Yarrow. 100% with you on that. That shit is crazy to me.
Crazy, and yet here we got Pattaya filled with these disgusting tourists who are enjoying their pleasures in a country that is known for its tolerance, and they are worrying about reverting back to regressive laws that didn't serve their society anyway. It's a land race strained country. Why are we worrying about cannabis? Why are we not regulating it? And why did they not know that when they took it to a full decriminalization?
Hold on. Hold on. You got to understand the politics over there. So the king had passed, a new government came in, and this is the new government's policy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
The pendulum swing of political power.
That's
and
right.
The way in which it affects the scatterbrained approach to public policy.
Can't wait for the pendulum to swing back this way out here in U.S.
Hey.
Just
Go
saying.
Brandon.
I got a pendulum. It's swinging.
It's swinging, yeah.
Swinging.
It's swinging. We do want to thank Thomas Cross with a big old super chat, who says freedom is normal, and spelled it as the organization NORML, and says federal decriminalization now, which we totally agree with.
I got Troy's also.
You got Troy, and Troy had a big old super chat. Thank you so much.
Troy's first super chat.
Troy Edwards, very first super chat. Troy Lawrence. Thank you so much.
He said Rico is an Ori hoe. And these hoes ain't loyal.
And what?
And these hoes ain't loyal.
That's true. That these hoes ain't loyal. That is 100% true in these streets. Facts on facts. All right,
Shout out to Troy.
Much appreciation, Troy. We are going to keep this train rolling. We're going to roll right on into Mr. Yarrow Kubrin. He's the man who has gout. He's the man who's searching for clout. And, of course, he is also the man that loves a glass of Pinot, even though it messes with his libido. That's right. It's none other than Mr. Yarrow Kubrin.
Damn, Yarrow.
Oh, my goodness. All right, let's get the libido back up. This is Monday, July 8th. High at 9 News. I'll give you viewers something to put some lead in your pencil.
Oh, boy.
Or a flush in your bush. California cannabis operators pivot to comply with new vape laws. Hot off the press, California cannabis brands and retailers are implementing new initiatives for vape packaging and disposal in response to a state law that went into effect July 1st. The new requirements under the California Business and Professional Code, section blah, 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 include a ban on using the term disposable to describe marijuana vape products in advertising, labeling, and marketing, and mandating that THC oil, vape pens, and batteries be disposed of at hazardous waste collection facilities, such as the Ohio Sheriff's Office, or other approved businesses. This legislation will help educate customers on how to properly dispose of integrated vaporizers, highlighting the need to treat them as hazardous waste as opposed to normal waste, said Angelica Sanchez, Senior Director of Government Affairs and Compliance at Sacramento-based Perfect Union, which operates 9 stores primarily in Northern California. New challenges for retailers and brands. The burden of disposing of defective return to use vape products likely will now fall on retailers. The consumers themselves, however, have no real recycling solutions that are dedicated to cannabis products, specifically vaporization products, said Jeremy Green, CEO and co-founder of Los Angeles-headquartered Final Bell Holdings, which provides supply chain services for California and Canadian brands. To provide convenience for customers, Perfect Union is installing vape disposal boxes at its 9 stores throughout the state. Perfect Union team supports initiatives that promote both environmentally friendly packaging and safe disposal, Sanchez said. This is an important step in the right direction. On the marketing front, Final Bell is helping its industry customers update existing packaging or create new labels as a temporary solution following the July 1st deadline, Green said. Mammoth Distribution and its brand Heavy Hitters, one of the top-selling vape products in the state, aligned product packaging months ago to meet the new compliance standards. We have been progressively incorporating the bill's language into our marketing and education materials. Wesley Hine, head of global brand expansion at the Los Angeles-based distributor and president of the California Distributor Association, told MJ Biz via email. Improving sustainability. Some brands, such as Pax Labs, are incorporating more sustainable components into their devices. The San Francisco headquartered company, one of the industry's biggest producers of cannabis vape products and accessories, in April released its first vape device made with reclaimed and recycled ocean-bound plastic. As part of an industry that cares deeply about the plant, we are keen to see not just responsible consumption, but responsible disposal as well. In this case, similar to how we treat most other consumer electronics that contain lithium-ion batteries. Scott Collins, Pax Labs Senior Director of Hardware Product and Design, told MJ Biz Daily via email. This is another reason why reusable pen and pod platforms are a great choice for durability and reducing the environmental impact of vape products. The PAX Trip, which is an outer shell made from the repurposed material, initially was launched in California and Massachusetts, but expansion is underway in Colorado and New York. California sets a standard. For decades, California has set the standard for domestic environmental policy and sustainability initiatives. The vape law was tied to other measures passed in the 2021-2022 California legislative session, including another bill, also known as the Responsible Battery Recycling Act of 2022. AB 2440, sponsored by Democratic Assembly member and industry critic Jackie Irwin, mandates covered batteries manufacturers to develop waste collection programs for consumers. The vape disposal law builds on California's effort to improve sustainable disposable practices for cannabis vaping products while decreasing the likelihood of safety hazards such as fires associated with battery-operated devices, according to cannabis attorney Paula Sancheveco. With the support of the state's cannabis industry leaders behind these legislative endeavors, licensed cannabis companies will play an instrumental role in decreasing fires in the materials management system across the state, said Savanchko, founder of Canaccord Group and PS Law Group in South Florida. enforcement and disposal solutions. Enforcing another burdensome regulation, according to industry sources, will be difficult for California's Department of Cannabis Control, which is trying to contain a growing pesticide scandal in the marketplace. The Department of Cannabis Control is updating its packaging and labeling checklist to reflect the new requirements and will be issuing guidance to support licensee compliance, DCC spokesman Maria Warren told MJ Biz Daily. Florida-based cannabis business attorney Justin Robinson questions the impact of the law, not its merits. From a practical perspective, consumers and others will likely continue throwing the vapes in the trash until there is widespread and convenient solution of electronic waste disposal, he told MJ Biz Daily via email. Without a program of consumer education and network of locations that can be easily accessed by consumers, these regulations, unfortunately, are nothing but words on a packaging label with no practical way for them to influence the way behavior they are trying to, with no way, practical way for them to influence the very behavior they're trying to change. So, fellow panelists, guests, pundits, listen, I am a Republican in the room.
Yes.
I am curious to hear what the rest of you think about this new change in the vape laws in California. This is Yarrow Kubrin, At 9 News, Monday morning.
I mean, changing the word disposable on the packaging isn't going to stop people from throwing them away. Now we're calling them an all-in-one and having to update weed maps and everything else. And it's a pain in the ass because brands have to update. If it's a branded ad on weed maps, we can't change the verbiage as retailers. We have to wait till the brands do it. And they haven't done it. So, I mean, if I was West Coast Cure, I'd be running, not walking to my fucking ads and change all that wording because it seems like if there's somebody after them, this is an easy target.
I mean, I think this is just stupid.
I agree.
It's totally stupid. It's a total waste of people's time. It's going to cost retailers more money in employee time and unproductivity because this is just ridiculous. Like, there's so many bigger things to worry about in cannabis than what things are called. And I feel like this is now all these vape pens are now just all pronoun pens.
Oh, man.
Well, let's talk about our pronouns for a second. So I thought what was interesting about this article was, on the one hand, Wesley Hine, shout out Wesley, love ya, thumbs up, mwah. From Mammoth Distribution, they were talking about how this change in law was not a big deal for them because they have been, quote, progressively incorporating the bill's language into our marketing and education materials. In other words, not a thing but a chicken wing because they had the foresight to understand that this was going to be coming, and they made those adjustments preemptively. And yet above that, in the same article, it talked about Final Bell, which does a lot of fulfillment for a lot of companies.
They do.
And on the marketing front, it says Final Bell is helping its industry customers update existing packaging or create new labels as a temporary solution.
All that means, Yarrow, you got to read between the lines. All that means is they're getting to sell them more packaging now. That's all that means.
But
so, of course, they're willing to help.
Don't you pet my skunk. What it means is that those brands didn't do the same thing that Mammoth Distribution did, which was to pay attention to the upcoming changes and to have that affect the purchasing and printing and the way in which they continued to be compliant in the market. And so Final Bell is helping people with something that just changed July 1st. Shout out to Final Bell for supporting its customers, but that's the kind of stuff that should be done January 1st, not July 1st.
Yeah, but you got to understand most of these operators are reactive, not proactive in almost everything they do. They don't fix a problem until there is a problem, and that's why they get in these places that they're in this financial debt that they are, because they don't have the foresight and they don't plan ahead.
All they need is a cannabis attorney, a compliance person. I mean, the challenge with the information age is
we are.
Well, yeah, sure, but it's because they're worth it, right? And the challenge in the
I don't know if they're always worth it.
Hang on now.
The challenge in the information age is not the lack of information. It's the synthesis and execution based on the information. And so, once again, this doesn't need to be a regulatory crisis for those that are paying attention.
What I'm saying is a crisis, Yarrow, is not that it's a regulatory crisis. I'm saying it's a crisis that the regulators are even wasting their time on this. This is the most stupid thing in the world.
It's just another battery. We have these
types of batteries stupid
in so many other industries. So we know these lithium-ion batteries shouldn't be put just directly in the trash. And we've known that for a really long time. We have lithium-ion batteries in a ton of other industries and a ton of other equipment.
And guess how many people care?
Trying to make this special and unique.
And guess how many people care? No one. No one cares about none of that.
Can we just regulate the Prius batteries? And we definitely do a lot more of the carbon footprint if we did that.
That part's true.
Ban Priuses.
They don't want to hear that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I tried to implement just a drop-off station at local dispensaries for once they were done with those, and I would actually get those to a school that would use them for weird forms of art and take the batteries and turn them in. I couldn't even get people to put a bin there.
I mean, in all fairness, you really probably can't put a bin there for a lot of reasons. Mainly that you would have open product just sitting there that anyone could access. I mean, there's dumpsters.
Also, huge fire risk.
Yep.
Logistics, but you know what I mean. People don't want to find a way to recycle, no matter if there is a way or not.
I mean, I don't blame them. It's a hassle. It's a pain in the ass.
I think recycling is a noble thing. I think these batteries are damaging and harmful. And
even though it's worse for the environment?
I think the idea of foisting yet another requirement on this industry instead of just treating it the way everybody treats batteries. I mean, is this requirement, is this uniform across all industries that use lithium-ion batteries? Because if they're not,
it's not.
Then they're continuing to treat the cannabis industry like the redheaded stepchild and give it extra attention that's not positive.
Now that part you're 100% right about right there.
California's rolled out a lot of regulations recently that affect us, right? But they should probably be spread out to other industries, like the types of generators that we're now allowed to use.
I wonder if some lawyer out there would sue the state on behalf to say and point out not this law but a whole bunch of other ones where there is no crossover to other industries, and to say that we are unjustly being singled out in all of these different changes, and these should be broad changes across the state. If the state wants to implement, they can't just singly force that all on one industry.
No, they should, but they're going to push back and say that they're allowing us to break federal law, so this is the tax we have to pay to be able to skirt federal law.
I mean, the battery is a battery, right? And if they want to talk about the hazards of cannabis oil, are they enforcing when diabetics throw away a hypodermic needle in a public trash can? I mean, it just needs
not in San Francisco
in order to be fair.
They don't make it to the trash can.
Not in San Francisco.
Those aren't diabetics either.
I mean,
no, those are diehard addicts.
Could have fooled me. Well,
you're a Republican. It's not hard to do that, right?
I mean, that's right. I am hard to be fooled because I can see through all the bullshit, Yarrow. It's one of my superpowers.
I mean, we have to what do we have to pay a fee, right? When you get a new battery for your car, there's a disposal fee because you got to take it back to AutoZone. And they got to take the old.
I thought they charged you a fee when you do that, because they used to charge you a core charge when you would buy the battery. And then, when you would go and get another one, you're still paying that same core charge. It's just a way to just tax you. It's so stupid.
What is the proper disposal method? What are they doing that's so special? Because I feel like
you break it open,
California
you take the liquid,
combining
and
the recycling.
You spread it on your baby's bottom as a diaper rash cure. That's the proper way.
Is that what you use for yours, Yarrow? Here's Yarrow's boofing things again.
And I use it to keep regular. It's a great hedge against constipation. A little liquid lithium-ion battery juice in the morning, along with the green drink and the spirulina and all those other things, gets me going real good.
Well, why we've been on this, we're going to keep this train rolling. We're going to roll right on in to Mr. Brandon Jones. He's been keeping up with the Joneses. He's the founder of Be Green Distribution out there in the great state of Missouri, and in an industry where they're actually making money out there. That's right, is none other than Mr. Brandon Jones.
Thank you. Today is a little bit of a weird day for me. July 8th is the 26-year anniversary of my car wreck, which started my journey to cannabis. Had 155 stitches in my face, have surgery scheduled for Friday to get a piece of glass that's still stuck in my nose taken out. So thank you for this platform to talk about cannabis as true medicine, because it is my medicine, got me off opioids and living, like we talked about earlier, a fun, energetic, athletic life. And 44, fuck you, I'm kicking your ass. So my story today, NIST's new hemp reference material will help ensure accurate cannabis measurements. So the NIST's hemp plant reference material will help labs accurately measure the amount of THC, CBD, toxic elements, and other compounds in cannabis products. This will help forensic labs correctly determine whether a sized material is hemp, which is legal in all 50 states, or marijuana, which is a controlled substance under federal law. It will also help producers and state regulators ensure that cannabis products are safe to use and accurately labeled. So the National Institute of Standards and Technology is now selling a hemp reference material that will help laboratories accurately measure key components in cannabis plant products. This will help law enforcement agencies accurately distinguish between hemp and marijuana and will help manufacturers and regulatory agencies ensure that cannabis products are safe and accurately labeled. Hemp and marijuana come both from the cannabis plant. Before 2018, all cannabis plant material or products were controlled substances under federal law. The 2018 Farm Bill legalized hemp, which is defined as any cannabis material with less than 0.3% total THC or less. Cannabis with more than that amount of total THC is considered marijuana and is still a controlled substance under federal law. This means that to determine whether a material is a controlled substance, labs now have to measure the total amount of THC in it. However, recent studies, including one by NIST's researchers, have found that THC measurements, as shown on product labels, are not consistently reliable, causing potentially serious safety and regulatory challenges. The new hemp material from NIST will help address this issue by serving as a reference material, that is, a material that labs use to ensure the accuracy of their measurements. So obviously we've seen this fun little loophole. So now they're going to be able to say they think between THC, the hemp plant, and actual cannabis itself. So getting on to the final part of this article, the NIST reference material number 8210 comes with an information sheet, and the links are here on the article, listing that precise amounts of total THC, CBD, and several toxic elements sometimes found in agricultural products, along with uncertainty estimates for each. So basically, this new test is going to come out from NIST to have a reference for all those labs around the country to be able to test. So we've been discussing the loophole in THCA this entire show. So what do we think about this reference guide?
Well, I'll tell you what, at least they're finally coming out with some kind of universal standard. I think that's a good thing overall, even though this whole thing is a total waste of time. Just saying.
You heard it here first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is.
What'd y'all throw above me, man?
It is.
Who is that scary lady?
That's the mayor.
The mayor.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that's the mayor.
Mayor Grimace.
I told
of the
you.
McDonald's family.
I told you she wasn't hot.
Hot.
Mm-hmm. Told you guys.
Grimace.
Yeah.
That lady looks angry. She looks like she'd fuck with you just to fuck with you. You know what I mean? She doesn't seem like she's laughing.
I'm telling you, I want to know. We have to know what these inappropriate comments were on Facebook.
The lady called her the laughing stock of the township, the village of New Miami. And I can see that she didn't find that funny.
I mean,
we're laughing at you, not with you, ma'am.
Man, oh man, oh man.
Boy, oh boy. Millie's on a roll today.
I could definitely see why she's so angry, though.
Oh, yeah. Her husband's got to be pissed off, too. You know what I mean?
What makes you assume that she's married?
Oh, yeah. You know, I mean, the ugly one's always got a man
That's a
at
big
home. It's
assumption.
Crazy.
And they usually punk them, too. They usually are kind of the bullies.
I'm going to shut up before I get canceled for not being a girl's girl, you know?
Mm-hmm.
People have tried.
I mean, what do you think about that? What do you think about this, Matthew St. Germain? I mean, you've tested a lot of things in your life.
I mean, I think it's great. You know, any increase in standardization and just having some actual true output coming from these labs would be awesome. I mean, that whole thing that just went down with California again, I thought we had just gotten to some point where we're getting like actual results, and then once again, everything's been gamified for the advantage of certain people who are willing to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
I just think, man, like, get you some organic potting soil, grow some weed in your backyard, cook the weed that you grow, get into the organic process of it, and let's just sidestep this whole thing. It's like model of bring all of the value out of a thing so that a few people can have vacation houses and people with no health care on minimum wage just is a model that's not working for the world. And the sooner we sidestep that and get back to something really approximates reality, better for all of us.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
Try to eat money.
Try to eat money?
Yeah.
I mean,
tell me how it goes for you. We need to eat food. We need clean air. We can't breathe money and eat money. No?
Fair enough.
Can we try?
Matthew St. Germain for president.
That sounds rough.
I'm finally old enough to run, you guys.
You are?
He's been waiting.
I'm a youngster if you put me up there, yo.
Man, good thing you're in good shape.
52 years old.
Yes. Any other final thoughts, you guys, on this? I can just see the little roadside test that the cops are going to have. They're just like, oh, we're going to put this little weed in this little packet and flick it a few times, and if it turns purple,
how do you flick it?
Yeah, like it's
All right.
Yes. Anyways, thank you all for joining us and getting high at 9 with us every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific and high noon on the East Coast. Big thank yous to all of our sponsors, Catalyst, a whole bunch of you guys out there. Also, too, thank you to our correspondents for spending your time with us today, and thank you to you at home for spending your time with us. We do appreciate it. You could be anywhere else. Thank you all, Cloud Media partners. Millie in the building today.
Woo!
Yes.
Thank God.
Oh, boy.
Kicked ass, Millie.
Yes, Millie's rocking. And Stone Slade, I think you're going to leave us with something real quick, aren't you?
We'll do a last word here.
Yes.
Today, we want to dedicate this last word to Kathy Jordan, Florida's patron saint of medical cannabis, who passed away on July 4th at the age of 74. She was diagnosed with ALS in 1986. She defied the odds, living 38 years beyond her diagnosis. She credited her extended life to medical cannabis, a cause that she championed tirelessly. Kathy's journey began with a strain of cannabis called Mayaka Gold in 1989. It gave her hope and a new lease on life, sparking her lifelong advocacy. Remembered for unwavering spirit and ever-present smile, Kathy Jordan's legacy will continue to inspire the cannabis community and beyond. She was a beacon of hope and a testament of power and perseverance.
Nice. Rest in peace, Kathy Jordan. Thank you all. This is High at 9 News. We are America's #1 daily cannabis news show.